ladies and gentlemen. We have double the Holmes family trouble on track this weekend here at the Cottage Grove Speedway for the 2022 Freedom Cup. Welcome back to today's video. Pretty full pit area. As you can kind of see behind me, we have limited sprints on tap, the IMCA Sport mods. We also have the 4 cylinders and street stocks. So an action-packed weekend here in Cottage Grove, Oregon. Excited to get after it, and I'm gonna be in the BC Motorsports number I1. If you remember, I ran this car in August of 2021. We had some engine trouble, but overall I felt like it was a good car for handling. It's owned by Brian Crockett, and kind of check out our setup you got there. It's a coilover car, and we got an open trailer today. So this is gonna be a fun opportunity while the 18T kind of sits at home over the weekend and we still have a bunch of work to do on it. But we are going to be getting our Freedom Cup underway just a little bit earlier. Before the pit meeting, I went up and checked out the racetrack and wanted to share that with you here on the vlog. Sometimes this track can be such a hard read. I've seen Cottage Grove where it just looks like it's soaking wet and you would think it would be gripped up and fast all night long, but the sun will come out or the wind will pick up and it will dry off in such a hurry and just go rock hard. So it'll be really interesting to see what it does tonight, considering they just dumped a good amount of water on it. You can see they got the top, they definitely got the bottom, and then the middle is a little drier. Hopefully though we can get 2 even lanes of racing and it should be all getting underway. We'll have a mud pack to start and then we should be going right into group qualifying and then a heat race with an invert. You're going to accumulate points between qualifying in that heat race to line you up though for that A main event. So the goal is to have the I1 on the gas every single time we're on track and see how well we can do. Well, a really damn good start to our night here in the BC Motorsports I1. It wasn't looking good for a second. We fired up for mud pack, car didn't run, brought it in. For some reason, just whenever I would step on the gas, it just sounded like the engine was choking itself. It was just like blah, 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 blah. Brought it in, checked all the nozzles, probably half of them were plugged, so we cleaned them, blew air through them, just did what we had to do, was able to fire it back up, get some heat in the engine, but we missed hot laps. So first laps at full speed for the day, we ripped off quick time here in the limited sprint division out of 16 cars. If you guys saw the vlog from the first time I ran this thing, it did not run good at all. I mean, we barely snuck out of like a B main against the limited guys here at Cottage Grove, and Brian made a bunch of changes, did all this stuff, and now the I1 is absolutely ripping. We were quick time by like 2 or 3 tenths over Carly, and then a couple more tenths over the rest of the field. So now we're gonna be starting from 6th in a heat race. They have a 6-car invert, so both Carly and I will be rolling off from the 3rd row outside starting position, and the goal is to move forward.
Freedom Cup night number 1 here at the Cottage Grove Speedway, getting ready to go green right now. Brandon Governor getting a big jump as they go come out. Third time here in heat race number 1. Austin Song's going to get around Brandon Governor for second. At the back stretch for the final time into turn 3 and 4. Tanner Holmes going to pick up the win in heat race number 1. Austin Song second. Brandon Governor third. Donald Adams going to finish.
We'll check off another box. The heat race is complete here. Night 1 of the Freedom Cup. Started 6th and was able to drive up and win the heat race with just a couple of laps to go. Man, our car is so good, and it's crazy. I talked about it at the beginning of the video, I wasn't sure if it was gonna stay gripped up or slick, and quickly, especially in 3 and 4, just no grip at all through the corner. A little bit of a moisture patch on the bottom, and then a little at the very top, but they just had watered it, so for our heat, it was slimy still. And we ended up just rolling right through the middle down at that end, and we could run the bottom or top in 1 and 2 and just kind of go wherever we needed to pass cars. So Brian has this thing dialed in. With that, we were kind of continuing our perfect night. Carly also went 6th to 1st. Huh?
I went 6th to 1st quicker than Tanner did. I was gonna do it on the first lap, but then the yellow came out, so it only took me about a lap and a half, maybe a lap. So
Carly's talking nonsense.
I'm the
here.
better driver.
Carly's talking nonsense, but she went 6th to 1st. I went 6th to 1st, and they're doing another invert because it's all about going forward. So now I'm gonna be rolling off 12th. She's gonna be rolling off from 11th. It's gonna be all about keeping our nose clean and who can move forward through traffic the fastest. So this might be a little home sibling battle, but sprint car edition, and we have some guys in front of us too that are gonna be moving forward. So overall, it's gonna be 25 laps of chaos. So just getting all strapped into the I-1 here for 25 laps around Cottage Grove. The message I have for this race is just be patient at the right times and aggressive at others. We do got to go forward, but we got the speed too. We were able to do so in the heat race, and I think if things go right and we can just, not slowly get through the first couple laps, but just maintain, move forward at the right times, and like I said, just stand on it. So we're about to roll up here to staging and see what we get here for night 1 of the Freedom Cup in 25 laps.
sit on?
Yeah, you can't even drive it. It's like can't go anywhere. Like I'm in the slick, it just doesn't have any drive.
I mean, neither does anybody. It's unfortunate that it turned to one lane around the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the top, I should have found the top way faster. I just didn't do my job. I would have won the race if I wouldn't have slid up off the bottom there trying to block him, thinking he didn't know the yellow was coming out, and then he got the lead, and then... Well, night one of the Freedom Cup's complete. Guess you could say I'm kind of walking around after the feature with my tail in between my legs. Started 12th, drove up to second, and fell just a couple car lengths short of bringing home the win. The I-1 was good. Congrats to the 9 car. He got out front before us, and we caught him at one point in lap traffic, and then I slid off the bottom at the wrong time, poorly timed yellow, fell back to second, and then once we got into open track, it just, you know, our car just wasn't as good around the bottom. For some reference, if you remember last time I drove this car, same engine package, the I-1 is a crate motor, so we're probably sitting around 475 for horsepower, maybe, if we're lucky, about 500. And Carly's car, the 22C, she's probably pushing anywhere 560 to 580, and some of these limited guys out here claim that their engines have 600 horsepower. So we're obviously down on power a little bit. That's not the reason necessarily we lost, but in the instance of how the track ended up being, just stop and go around the bottom, that's where, you know, that torque and that acceleration really helps you. Where the crate, I have to keep it so wound up, otherwise I lose my momentum. And I found the top in 3 and 4 late in the race. There was nothing in 1 and 2 besides entry. It just fell off so bad. You would be sitting up there for an hour and a half. And the 9 car was just good around the bottom. We were good too, but I just couldn't set as good of a pace. But once I found the top in 3 and 4, I think we were better. But we just ran out of laps, and I also mentioned poorly timed yellows and everything in lap traffic, just how the cards fell. We came home second. Well, and just like that, the I-1 is all loaded up on our pretty sweet setup, the open trailer. And the Cottage Grove Speedway will now get the opportunity to rest before night number 2. And we will be ready to get back after it and try to get one spot better. I think for any of the viewers watching, whether you're a competitor or not, or you're just a fan, or you've just been around the sport, like, you know that second place just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, basically. I mean, that's the only way to put it. It's just disappointing. Like, you're so close to the goal, which is winning, be the first one to cross the line, get to be in victory lane, and regardless of what happens throughout the race or what goes down, if you run second, it just makes you even more eager and hungrier to just get one spot better. And I know we're absolutely capable of doing it. I felt like, man, the more I think about it, just a couple things went differently. I don't even need to rant on, just so close. But second tonight, 1 spot shy of a perfect night. So basically with our run, I will say we should pretty much be the high point car going into Monday, which will be a full field invert. Basically, we will be rolling off from 18th. And to win the Freedom Cup, it's all about accumulating points, not necessarily winning that final night. So even though we wanted to win tonight, the goal for this whole thing is to be the high point car at the end of Monday. And that's where the money's gonna be handed out, the trophy, all that stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. A big thanks to Brian Crockett for allowing me to wheel his race car. It's fast, man. It may be a little crate, but it keeps up with some of these pretty decent limited motors and gets around the racetrack really well. Also being a coil car, just such a great piece, and just, you know, honored to have the opportunity to drive it, you know, with my car sitting at home getting some rest. See you guys all in the next one. We will be back and at it for night number 2 of the 2022 Freedom Cup here at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Try to continue our good weekend. See you guys all there. Deuces.